Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all well. We're back to the beer 52 box now, the one that I was supposed to cancel, and I still haven't cancelled it. Kick your ass into gear, Baz, when I get a minute. It's been a busy week at work. But yeah, we're taking a look at one from the beer 52 box, the Dutch box. So there was 4 dark beers, 4 light beers. This is one of the light beers, and we are taking a look at a beer from Forever Young. And this is a can of their Slick Rick. It's a white IPA. It's coming in at 5.2% ABV in a 330ml can. Don't know how much it cost individually. The box was about 27 quid. It's coming at about £3, £3.50 for these, £3.50 really for the beers, something like that. So yeah, there we go. There is a lot of spiel on the back. I do quite like the can artwork. I'm going to hold that up there. I can read it, but the only problem is I've got to hold it about 20 foot away from me, and I've got to go in the light and you won't be able to see me, which isn't a bad thing, but I'll just hold it up and you can have a look. So yeah, a white IPA, quite partial to a white IPA. It's almost like a hybrid beer, IPA stroke wit beer. So let's stop talking. Nice and chilled. It's going in the untapped glass. So let's get it cracked and see what we get. There we go. Right, let's see. It's the first time I've had anything from these as well. I mean, that's one thing I will say about beer 52. Yes, the beers can be a little bit average, it's got to be said, and this glass isn't very clean. So whether somebody else has cleaned it for me, I don't know, but quite possibly. I'll leave it there for now. You do get to try different beers from beer 52. I will top it up actually. You do get to get some different breweries and that, so that is a good thing about it. Okay, let's get the rest in there. I was going to hold back to try and give myself some room to sniff it, but I still can. My God, who the hell has cleaned that glass? I don't know. Anyway, white IPA, Slick Rick, 5.2%. Yep, IPA with that sort of slightly hazy Hefeweizen look, or not Hefeweizen, but wit beer sort of look, you could say. Orange kind of looking beer. There is a few bubbles going up, and we got a reasonably good compact head on top, and well, it's kind of compact with some spacious bubbles in there. So yeah, looks really as you'd expect. So let's get the nose in, have a sniffers, and see what we get. What you get for me, there is a subtle hint of the wit beer side, but you get a very sort of bang average IPA feel to it, almost sort of session IPA supermarket sort of job, but nothing nasty. That's what it smells like. Hopefully it'll taste better than it smells. I'm not going to say it smells bad, but it smells a little bit underwhelming. Not going to say fantastic. So let's dive in. Forever Young and their Slick Rick white IPA, 5.2%. Cheers. All right. White IPA. I'll hold judgment. I always thought white IPA was sort of like a hybrid between sort of like wit beer, or it is a hybrid between a wit beer and an IPA. At the moment, I'm not really picking so much of that up. That said, it's still quite tasty. Let's go in again. Right. It's got to be said, 5.2%. That's really nice body on that beer. Is really nice. Quite busy on carbonation, but the bubbles aren't big. They don't ruin the mouthfeel. You just get that glide of fizz as you drink it. There's no sort of roughness about the beer as you drink it. It's very smooth. Feels very soft as well. Tell a lie, once I've had another mouthful, you don't really notice the bubbles, and then sort of afterwards you get that bit of a like rush of bubbles. You do feel it, but I wouldn't say it ruins it. I haven't really changed my mind there, but you do feel it. Really smooth, really soft. Very drinkable. I'm going to say this is more IPA forward, and the wit beer side of it is behind. Maybe it's just the palate adjusting. It's very much IPA forward though for me. Goes down bloody well. And the more you drink it, that wit beer side of it does come through. Initially, my initial thoughts on tasting, I was like, oh, hang on. Yeah, it's like you get the IPA side of it, you get the hoppiness, you sort of got this malty backbone to it, and there was just a tickle of maybe a spice note sort of going on in the background, just a very subtle note, not really any wheatiness. The more you drink of it, the more that wit beer sort of takes over. Yeah, but it is balanced. It is balanced well. I've got to say, the more you drink it, the more it sort of evens. It sort of starts more IPA, and then you kind of get that bit in the middle, in a sense, at each mouthful, where it all sort of starts evening out, and then the wheat beer sort of takes over and starts being the notes that you get at the front. But then, as that sort of fades a bit, the IPA side comes in again at the back. I need to start giving you some tasting notes. I'm explaining it all, but pardon me. So yeah, you sort of get it. It's so changed. It's so changed. To start off with, yeah, it was IPA. You got the hoppiness. You got this little malty note from it. You got that slight herbal note, stroke spicy note. Now, the wit beer thing is the more prominent thing that you're picking up. You do get that wheatiness with that tickle of IPA in the background. The spicy note, the spices, if you like, the herbal notes as you get from a wheat beer. There even maybe feels now a little tickle of aniseed going on. Remember the aniseed balls that you could get? There feels like a little tickle of that going on in the background as well. And as that sort of fades, you still pick up that sort of hoppy note from the IPA with that slight maltiness. I mean, it's a nice beer actually. It's got to be said, it is a nice beer. It goes down really well. 5.2%. That's got a lovely little fizz on it. It's got to be said. Especially as the carbonation sort of dies off a bit, you still get that fizz, but it smooths out a little bit. 5.2%. Drink's really nice for it. You get enough flavour for that ABV without being overpowered by any sort of alcohol or anything, and you wouldn't expect that 5.2%. Yeah, that's actually really nice. It's a little bit odd, and I could see some, like me, I could see some people going, oh, hang on, this isn't very white IPA, and then suddenly finding after a couple of mouthfuls it's turned on its head. But yeah, it's an enjoyable drop. It's a little bit of a head fucker, if you like, because you're thinking, hang on, no, yeah, no, oh, hang on, what's going on here? It's one of them. But yeah, it's quite a nice drop actually. I'm not going to say it's the best white IPA I've had, but it goes into that category that you could drink it, still get enough flavour, and you could still pick notes out in it, but you don't have to think about it. It's just an enjoyable drop. So yeah, Forever Young, my first beer from them, out the Beer 52 box as well, which is nice to get a beer that I like out the Beer 52. Their Slick Rick White IPA coming in at 5.2%. I'm going to give that a thumbs up. A little bit different. It may not be to some people's taste, but I actually quite like it. I think it's a nice easygoing beer that goes down well. So there you go. If you've had this one before, let me know your thoughts on it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you again soon on another one. Cheers.